And hello, hi to you and your fur babies. And here it's another fantastic episode. I can't believe it's June. I can't believe everyone is traveling. How are you doing, Jennifer?
I am great. How are you?
Doing very well. I'm very excited. Everyone I ask, everyone is saying, Vasi, we are traveling. And I'm so excited that in today's episode, we are going to dig in and continue learning more on how people travel with their fur babies.
Yes, this is a very hot topic. It's a very timely topic. It's really a great topic as we are coming out of, or as we know, COVID is still very alive and well, but people are traveling more. We're not sheltering in place as much. The airports, I know from experience, are very crowded. The roads are very crowded. Public transportation is very crowded. So this is such a great topic, folks. So as you come on in, please be sure to share, hit that share button, tag someone who you know is traveling, because today we are talking about not only traveling with your fur baby, but international travel with your fur baby. We have two incredible guests who are really going to unpack, forgive the pun, who are going to unpack the whole process of traveling with your fur baby. Jan Ben, longtime friend, longtime supporter, as many of you know. She was just in Spartanburg, South Carolina with Emilia, her little baby, was just there a couple weeks ago. So she's going to tell us how that happened and how she flawlessly was able to pack her in her suitcase and bring her along. And then Jackie Sierra of Pet Limo is also with us, and this is what she does 24/7. So absolutely, I am going to take a nap while you all talk, because I'm going to turn this over to the experts. If anyone has a question, I will be fielding the questions here on the Celebrity Catwalk Facebook page. Don't hesitate to ask any questions. Remember to tag folks who you think this might be pertinent to. We are talking traveling, international and national travel with your fur baby. So thank you all very much. Thank you as always, Vasi, for making it happen. And gee, I don't know where we should start. Jan, do you want to start with your process and how it happened and the hoops that you had to jump through?
Yes, okay, I will. I think that's better. I'll share my experience, and then Jackie can fill in all the
blanks. She can get us together.
Yeah. Okay.
So wonderful. Beginning.
So the first thing was, as you know, I was not able to bring Emilia with me for several events. And as soon as I realized that maybe I could, the first thing I did was go on the CDC website, but it's not really clear. The only clear thing was that I knew I had to take a blood test. I had to go to a special CDC lab, and where I was living, the closest was France. So my vet chose it, and then he was filling everything in. But he thought that by just filling in all the things and giving the paperwork, that was all I needed to do.
And so, I'm sorry to cut you off, Jan. When you say blood work, you're referring to Emilia's blood work, yes, not yours.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
So the first thing you have to be prepared is your fur baby is going to need a blood test.
Right. And it has to go to a CDC certified lab.
And it has to be at a particular lab, not any lab, but a CDC lab.
They have a whole list by country, by region, by whatever. So you just choose, your vet chooses the nearest, most convenient one. So you wait till that comes back, and then you start filling in all these, the paperwork, but the vet does that. So, I mean, I can't thank Pet Limo enough. I mean, Elizabeth and Jackie were with me in the wee hours, and they stayed overtime because my vet didn't sign it in the right place, so it wasn't accepted. I mean, it's very, very detailed. You got to really follow the whole thing. And anyway, so, and they were so, I called them so many times, and they were always so so helpful and so pleasant, really. And so finally we got all that. And I didn't realize, and my vet didn't realize either, that if you don't get the permit the regular way, which takes a while, you have to get an expedited one. And if you get an expedited one, you have to pay for it. And in every port of entry, there is a kennel that takes care of that. I was coming through Miami, so the Miami kennel that's in charge of that is Pet Limo. So,
okay.
But I'm going to say this openly because I think I don't know. Jackie, should I say what I did wrong?
You could, and I can say how to do it correctly.
Okay. So I'm coming in. Of course, there's so many things to read. And so I go to the customs and he has anything to declare? I said, yes, I have a dog. Oh, well, that's nice. So I leave thinking that, oh my, I'm getting away with this. Then I get a call from Jackie and saying, no, you can't do it this way because it's not the right way to do it. She has to go into quarantine. The other thing you have to realize is that they don't work on Saturday and Sunday. So I came in Friday. So she had to stay 2 extra days before the vet saw her. So had I known that, I would have changed my flight to come in, not over the weekend. Anyway, so you're supposed to, I don't know what you're supposed to do, but this is what I did. And then what happened was, they called me and came and picked up Himalaya, and that was really heartbreaking. So, but
it was like the dog catchers were coming to get her.
Oh
poor
God,
thing.
it's like the FBI in this van, and I'm like, can I give you her blanket?
I had to do it, Jan. I had to do it.
I just have to take the dog. I can't. Okay, her
So you thought you had gotten away with murder when you said, yes, I have a dog, and you just walked out of the airport.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Wow.
I'm talking to somebody in a position of authority, and he didn't stop me. So, So anyway, so then I think now maybe as a last thing, I want to just thank. I mean, I was lucky I came through Miami and I had Pet Limo, but because they send me pictures all the time and updates. They didn't say, oh, it's you again calling. I mean, it was really, and the place when I went to pick up Himalaya was really nice. But I have to say that it's traumatic for the owner and it's traumatic for the pup because I'm Himalaya. I can't leave her alone too much now. So before, I don't know, Jennifer, if you realize she was Audrey Hepburn in the show.
Yeah.
And I gave her to one of your young assistants to walk her out, and she ran away. She wouldn't have done that before. So I have to, because she knows I'm in the vicinity, but now, I think she has to be just eased into it again. So she's gonna, when she hits the catwalk, she's gonna be working.
I love it.
So that's all I have to say.
Wow.
Okay.
So now Jackie can say what I did wrong.
Hello, lovely ladies.
Hello, Jackie. Thank you for being here. Thank you for breaking down this whole process for us.
You are very welcome. You're very welcome. So Jan, she's awesome. We clicked the minute I spoke to her. She understood how the process went. So what Pet Limo does, the reason we got in touch with Jan is because obviously she's coming from a high-risk rabies country. Now there's 113 high rabies risk country. So in order for you to make it over to the United States, which only has, Jan, I don't know if you're aware of this, 5 quarantine stations. So you're only allowed to come in through Miami, New York, LA, Atlanta, and now Seattle. So you got lucky that you picked Miami, that you were coming to Miami, because if you don't come into one of those 5 quarantine stations, you would have been out of luck. You would have been deported back.
Oh, wow. So
that's a good thing. So once the owners of the pets want to come into the country, they have to either go and get a CDC import permit. And in order to do that, like Jan said, you have to send the pet's blood work, which is called a serology test or a titer test, to an approved CDC lab. And thankfully, Jan sent one that was nearby for her vet. If not, there's people like in South America that have to send it all the way to Kansas City because it's the closest one. So once that takes about 8 weeks to get the results back. So once you get the result back, now you have two options. Now you can either apply for the CDC import permit, which takes another 8 weeks, or you make a reservation with a quarantine station, which in this case was Pet Limo for Jen, because she was coming into Miami. And then once your pet comes in, where it's so complex and it's so much information that you have to, we literally spend hours and hours with the customers on the phone, because if you don't reach somebody like us, not one person will know all of this information. You have to get it by pieces, and you don't know who's the one that's, guiding you correctly. And it's like very stressful. So you have to spend time with this person, and it's a lot of paperwork. We finally give them like an official reservation letter to come in, and tells you all the details that once you're at the airport, we're also the only, Jan, quarantine station out of the 5 that allows the passengers to arrive with their pets in quarantine on baggage with you on the plane. All of the other 4 stations, you can only ship your dog's cargo.
Oh, wow.
So that is the reason why where Jan was like so happy when the officers at the airport said, all right, welcome to Miami, go on your merry way, is because they dealt themselves, that officer, I'm assuming, wasn't up to date or whatever, and she saw that she did have like the serology, the rabies, everything. He didn't think to say, oh man, where is she coming from? Oh, it's a high rabies risk country. Hold on, ma'am. You need to get the airline to give us a post entry, which creates an airway bill as if the dog came in on cargo. Because once Himalaya went through the process of the veterinarian examining it and giving it the new rabies vaccine for the United States. And then once that was done, us asking the CDC to give us the release, because the vet finished his examination. And with that CDC release and that airway bill that was created due to that post entry that you had to get at the actual baggage passenger service, then that's when the broker, because all the customers have to have a licensed broker to also participate in this program. At that point, the broker with the CDC release and the airway bill from cargo can now clear the pet. And once that is done, it's like, here you go, your pet, welcome to the United States. It's not an American dog. So that's the process that everybody has to take.
Wow.
Now, is it the same process, Jackie, in traveling outside of the country? If I want to go to Italy, if I want to go to Paris, if I want to go to...
Every country's different. So it's different going into a country, let's say like London, that is a non-rabies risk country. Sometimes they require your pet to go into quarantine getting into the country, because that's the way that they protect the country from becoming a high-risk rabies country. Wow. As opposed to it being a high-risk rabies country, maybe there's just certain requirements that you need to have, certain vaccines that your pet needs to be up to date with, and then always a valid health certificate, an international health certificate if we're exporting, shipping, going outside of the US. And it needs to say that, the pet is healthy to travel, because it could get, tricky.
I have another question. The question about now, American dogs like Himalaya, right?
Like Himalaya now.
Okay, who go to high rabies risk countries and want to come back to the States. What is that?
Best question you could have asked. Every time that somebody calls me that they want to travel outside of the US with their pet, I ask them, when was the last time you gave your dog the US rabies vaccine?
Okay.
And I say, when are you coming back? Just make sure that by the time that you are coming back, the vaccine is still valid, and you're allowed to travel into the US to 18 different airports that have a quarantine station that will review that your pet does have a US rabies vaccine, but it did come from Venezuela, let's say, and it's a high-risk rabies country, but because its vaccine is current, you're good to go. So
you don't no more quarantine.
No more quarantine as long as your US rabies vaccine is up to date. And I always highly suggest you travel with that vaccine record. If not,
And what do you do at the airport?
You present it, because you're going to be stopped by customs, and they're going to see where you're coming from. Okay. And they checked your pet's vaccines. It was up to date. It was current from the country of origin. So, that's why they assumed that everything was good, but they shouldn't assume.
No, well, now we're finished with them.
Yeah, we're finished. We're done.
We're Americans now.
Yes.
Yeah. I do have also another question. So do you have all the animals under the same umbrella in a way, like it doesn't matter if it's a small dog or a bigger dog? And also, how about cats?
Okay, so cats CDC is not quarantining cats. So the program is only for dogs.
Okay.
Oh.
So cats are good. We do have a beautiful cat room. It's the West Room at our boarding facility. And then when it comes to the boarding process of the pets that are in quarantine, we have runs. We don't keep our dogs in kennels. They're 30-foot runs, 15 feet inside, 15 feet on the outside, except if they're very little dogs like Himalaya. They're safer in these they're about 15 feet that they roll around. And we think that that's healthier for the pets to be running around, stretching and, jumping up if they want to jump up. And then they have a little doggy door in the middle where they go outside and inside, but unless it's raining, where we close it down, of course, and at nighttime so that the frogs don't come in. Because it is a beautiful farm area. I'm sure Jan can tell you.
Yes,
So
very beautiful.
We try to,
and the reception area is very, very dog friendly, and there are dog pictures of the previous clients, and
amazing. But so my question also is, so if you are a pet owner and you want to enter with your dog in here, so are you going to go through the same procedure if you have 10-pound dog and if you have 50-pound dog?
Yes.
So it doesn't matter the weight, and of course kilograms.
It doesn't matter the weight or the kilograms.
Okay.
And it does not matter if it's an emotional support dog or a support dog.
That's a great one, because I'm sure a lot of people would say, oh, that was actually a great one, Jackie.
Yeah, because a lot of people tell me, but it's my support dog, it's my emotional support dog, and then it hurts me. But CDC does not care what kind of dog it is. They know that.
How about
service
dogs?
No, no service dogs, no emotional dogs. They still have to follow the guidelines.
Even service dogs.
Even service dogs.
Wow, that's honestly so important, because a lot of people may get strict by this. Okay, I'm okay in US.
Yeah.
Like in my country.
That happens to us a lot. And what's worse is when they come unknowingly, because it's like I have Customs Border Patrol calling me saying that there's this pet that came from this country, and now I need to either tell the customer at the last minute that these are all the requirements and bombard them with all of these requirements and this costly amount, because it is a little bit of a costly program, and they have no time limit to come up with this fee, and they have to do it at the moment, or have their pet deported back. It's really sad. But they think that it's a service dog. I'm going to come in it because American Airlines, let's say, to use them for an example, allowed them to come on the board with me. But that representative slipped, sold them the ticket, but then Customs catches them as soon as you get done from that plane.
Wow. Hey, Barbara. Hey, Sabrina. We have people watching. Very informative is what they're saying. We love it. So I think one of the biggest takeaways, Jackie, from what I'm hearing is, first of all, this isn't something that time needs to be your friend with this whole process. Like if I was planning on going to Czechoslovakia this summer with Charlie, I'm a little bit late to start trying to get this done now, because I think you said one procedure alone takes possibly 8 weeks to get the results back. So I really should be, if I were planning to travel either for the holidays, let's say, or 2024 internationally, now is when I should start looking into the ins and outs and procedures and protocols of the particular country that I am planning to visit.
For sure, Jan. If it's with anything coming into the US,
Okay, just I'm sorry, friends. Okay, now Jackie, we don't hear you.
What happened to
voice,
Jackie?
okay, Jackie, hold on.
okay,
Jackie, you were
I'm
good,
back.
yeah?
I'm back. Hold on.
We lost your cute face.
We lost
Yeah,
Jackie.
my host has stopped my video.
The host,
Uh-oh.
Tinker Vasi. Wow.
That's me. I
Okay,
think
sorry.
that
Yes.
I
We
think
got
that's
it.
my
But
fault. That's
fingers-
my fault, Vasi. I'm
We got
sorry.
it.
Say that again, Jackie. My
Okay,
apologies.
so so if you're coming into the US, just call us. If it has to do with quarantine, we'll set you up, even if it's from one day to the next. But just be aware there are like rush fees, but we're willing to make it happen because our duty is to make sure that you, the pet owner, comes in. If you have to come in, we got you. We understand how stressful and complex that is. Now, if
I can testify to that.
yeah. Now, if it's exporting, and you're traveling international, which is what I really specialize in, relocations, I try to tell them, give it to me as much time as possible because there's so many logistics that go into it. I have to make sure that I look up with the USDA regulations, what's the country's requirements. If I have to call their whatever station I have to call, wherever that country is, and there's a lot of legwork and a lot of emails and they don't answer right away. And I have to tell you, if your pet is going to have to be quarantined in London for a month, because you don't have this test, but if you do have this test and this is the option, because they don't make it simple. They don't just say this is it and this is how you got to get in. They probably give you like 3 scenarios so that you have options in case you can't, let's say, have an approved laboratory of some sort to get this exam done, so as much time as possible, the better. And then we have to take into play and consideration the embargoes, heat embargoes, any embargoes with the actual airline in that country, which I learned the hard way, a couple years ago. There's not only country embargoes, there's airline embargoes. So
Wow.
So you have a service that helps people who are looking to travel on vacation to,
that's
I don't
me.
know, some European country. They can contact you and you can
Yes.
do all the paperwork and all that for them.
Yes, ma'am. That's what I do,
Oh,
Jen. That's what
wow.
I've been specializing. That's what Pet
Oh,
Limo
okay.
really does. That actual quarantine program and how we met you actually started in June 2020. CDC reached
Okay,
out to us and
okay.
said, you guys have been servicing the airlines and you seem knowledgeable. We need a quarantine station. We think you guys can do it. You want to tackle on that and have, the whole world calling you and invent a system from the day to night and make sure that you guys, get all these federal things in order. And we were like, yeah, let's do it. We want to help. And we made it happen. But before then, we get pets. We do private ground transportation. That's what we really specialize in. Like your pet can't travel because it's a short-nosed dog to Seattle. So we drove one the other day over there. Or your kennel is too big and can't go to New York because you have a husky. So we drive it over there. Or if you want to travel anywhere around the world, I figure out what's needed, and I make it happen.
It's
Amen.
amazing.
Wow.
Do you know, to me, you're honestly like a lawyer. Like when you want to travel or enter
Yeah.
US with your pet, you better connect with Jackie and her team.
I'm
Pet
going to become a
Limo, and then when
consultant,
you
an animal consultant,
Yeah.
travel consultant.
Yeah, I love it.
Absolutely.
I never even knew. Again, I'm a photographer, but an educator, but I never even knew that like it's such a big deal. But as a lot of people know, since I went to exactly Miami Airport last year, they said you can't travel, and especially with your 4 babies. And I'm even seeing, and you see a Jackie all the time. I see a person with disability who
Yeah.
cannot live or move because I interview so many of them, or maybe it's partially blind and they have their dog with them. Their life is dependent on their pet, and it's stopped
Yeah.
at the airport. So, like, unfortunately, this is the most horrifying situation you can face. And I'm sure a lot of people were facing the due of not knowing what it's involved with, and they don't have life contacts. But the good news now, we know you, Jackie, all of
and Jackie, so at the airport, is there somebody of Pet Limo who meets the person, or how does that work?
So, let's say if you're coming in and you're telling me, let me give you an example of, because usually the thing is that when the airlines call me, not speaking about the quarantine program, because the quarantine program, we're outside of the airport as soon as the customers are walking out so that we can retrieve the dog and put it into our vehicle to transport it directly to the quarantine facility, right? But our scenario is that when it's here in Miami, the airlines call me because of a few reasons, maybe because the dog has not been cleared by customs and they need us to put it in the bonded facility, which will be there outside meeting the customer with the airline representative to take hold of that pet and put it in the bonded facility. Or for whatever reason, the customer didn't meet the requirements and they're going to deport the dog, but we need to take care of the dog overnight until the next flight. We're there, we meet the customer, and I always like to say, listen, your dog is going to be safe with us. You know, it's unfortunate what's happening to you, but you know, they're worried about their dog. So if that's the case, they'll be good with us. But if you were to hire us to say, you wouldn't really need us here if you're traveling in with your pet because you have everything in order and you just come in. But let's say you're not flying with your pet and you're shipping your pet in cargo. Once your pet lands here, I always tell everybody, add us on to the airway bill under the consignee information of Pet Limo. So I have authority to go pick up your pet without any hesitation. So as soon as I know it lands, my drivers are outside the cargo area. We pick them up and we bring them back to our boarding facility, take them out, walk them, feed them, put them in one of those runs, and just have them back again for maybe they're in transit. So they're going to keep going to their final destination, or maybe the customer flew in late and then they meet us at our boarding facility at the next day or whatever. And then we turn over their pet. But let's say that we're shipping a dog out to anywhere around the world. I don't obviously have a team of Pet Limo around the world, but what I do, I am a part of IPADA organization. So I have like sister companies that work all over the world that I say, okay, well, Jan is going to go to London. Who's in London? That's another travel company like me. And then they give me the service to pick it up at the airport if that's what the customer wants and take it to the front of their door or wherever they want.
Wow.
So that's also an option that I have available to me.
Well, that's fantastic. And I have a question, I'm sorry. A
It's
lot
okay.
of times, obviously, people travel and they come in the middle of the night. So you may get a phone call at 2 a.m. What do we do that?
I am 24/7.
Yeah.
I am 24/7. Pet Limo, the whole relocations, I service the airlines, so all the airline managers know me. I'm the one that answers the phone 24/7. I started taking Tuesdays off now, and my assistant Tracy is assisting me with the phones on Tuesdays, but it's a family-owned business, Pet Limo, for the last 31 years, and Canine Country Club is also a family-owned business that we bought because our friend passed away and we wanted to keep the kennel facility, and that's been running for 60 years. But you know, the quarantine team that I set up, I have Elizabeth that Jan met. She's my girl for my quarantine. My girls for the actual boarding, they're there at Canine Country Club because that's the name of our boarding facility. That's the home of Pet Limo, because Pet Limo is like a relocation company, a transportation company. I do everything. I set everything like a travel agency from the from the comforts of my own home, or sometimes I go to the office to, you know, talk to the team, do what I gotta do some stuff, but we pretty much got the ball rolling. But anybody needs anything, emergency style, 24/7, I'm the one that picks up the phones.
Wow, that's
incredible. So now when Emalaya and Jan return to hit the catwalk this November in Spartanburg, are you registered, people? That's good to know, Jan. It will be a perfectly flawless experience.
But I'm going to call Jackie just to make sure.
That's a great one. No, this is really great. And before we are done for today, Is there anything else? And I'll start first with Jen Ben, what you would like to say. And also, please, Jen Ben, tell people where they can find you on social media, and then Jackie will be after.
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. It's me, Jan Ben. And I'm so happy that Jackie and Elizabeth and the whole, they saw me through this trial and it came all out positively, because now, I don't have this problem anymore, and I don't have, I just have to keep the shots up. And I met two wonderful women that are really, I think, are going to add a lot to our pet community.
Absolutely.
So I'm very thankful. And also the other thing that Jackie didn't mention was that they have events. And I think that maybe people in Miami could reach out, and they could, I don't know how they work, but I'm sure that Jackie will be more than happy to give them information on how they can vend or how they can participate.
That's wonderful. Jackie, I'm getting a question now. Where is the boarding located?
It's in Horse Country, which is like the Kendall area between Sunset and Miller on 118th Avenue.
All right, there
Obviously,
you go.
Miami.
Miami, Horse Country, there you go. There you
Yep.
go. So I think, as we all know, traveling is stressful, period. Traveling with your pet is stressful too. International travel, stress, it just adds to the stress level. So
Yeah.
it's wonderful that Pet Limo is there, Jackie is there. I think you all know you just have to reach out to them in ample time. Definitely some incredible nuggets that you have given us tonight. Really good information.
Well, you can get
folks.
somebody on the other end of the phone that can explain things in a simple way. I
Yes.
mean, it's very difficult to understand.
It is.
That's why I was like, I need to learn all of this to tell somebody and guide them, because then it makes my job a lot more difficult if people are just feeding little bite-sized pieces of information to the
exactly.
customers, and that's never really helping them. It's just, they're stressful, it is complex, and
it could lead to major crisis. I mean, say if you're deportation or whatever.
And
yeah,
pet,
whatever the case may be.
trauma. I mean, like being traumatized, the pet itself, the pet owners, then why did you go why did you travel when you cannot enjoy it? And I also want to tell everyone, dear friends, please, as you can see, petlimo.com is the website. But also, if you'd like, you can take your phone and take a picture of the QR code, and it's going to bring you to the website, or take a screenshot of this and use a second device, and that's how you can go if you like really to go the new way with the new technology. And Jackie, as final words, what would you like to say?
Thank you, ladies, very much. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure meeting you guys. I am available 24/7. If you guys have any questions, I'm here to help.
Thank you. Well, thank you.
I know the questions
Thank
can
you.
be a million times, different types of questions,
Or the same.
or the same one a million times, but
Yes.
I'm here to
Yeah.
You
help.
were there. And I can tell you, friends, yesterday, just as experience, I, picked up the phone. I called Jackie. Jackie picked up right away. It was absolutely incredible. And we know as consumers, a lot of times you go, and I'm sorry, but like you go on customer service, you wait 45 minutes. Typically, it's like I face this for our website or internet, and Jackie was right on the dot, and she just...
And I was about to call you because Jan had left a message at the boarding, and the girls had just finished sending me that voice message. I said, oh, I gotta call her. And then Bossy said, Bossy. I'm like, oh my goodness, what a coincidence.
Yes, but I cannot thank you enough. And again, thank you to all of you ladies. Thank you to all of our people who are watching. Please, friends, really share. I feel that especially with being the summer season. And by the way, hi to everyone who is watching on Instagram. And also, we know that after summer, there will be fall. There will be, New Year's Eve.
Christmas.
Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever it is, people, plan sometimes trips a year ahead, but just knowing what you're getting into, it's important, and having the right people around, which is Jackie and her team, it's amazing. And also going to Celebrity Catwalk from different countries with your babies.
Yes,
on time.
yes.
It's really important. So thank you very much. Again, you can find, friends, all the details and links below in the description if you're watching this on any channels. So enjoy your day, and let's travel with our fur babies and create priceless memories. So we'll see you soon. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ladies.
Bye-bye. See you
Bye-bye.
soon.